for sure blocking is the hardest skill in volleyball. I've always thought that.
Really?
Yeah. Defense in general is so much easier, just from my experience doing both. Maybe just because I'm a little undersized as a blocker, so it's tougher. But I've always thought that blocking is the toughest skill in volleyball.
What do you
beach
think
volleyball.
makes blocking harder than defense?
I mean, there's so many like factors you gotta like read into. Like you gotta see the set, if it's off, if it's tight, if it drifts here, if it's drifting there, if the hitter's gonna hit or shoot. Because if he shoots, you're not really supposed to get that ball, right? The guy's trying to shoot over you.
Right.
And even in general, the hitter has the advantage every single time. So I think that's why. And you're like the first line of defense, technically. So the defender just gets the scraps in the back.
Yeah.
So that's
But
why.
do you think, and as competitive as you are, though, I feel like you like having control over the match as much as possible. And I think a blocker has more control over the match than defense because, as you mentioned, it's the first line of defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you miss that at all?
A little bit. I do miss, like, stuffing balls, you know.
I thought you were going to drop a name.
For sure. That's, like, I think one of the better feelings in volleyball is to just stuff a guy, you know, and
Yeah.
scream at him right after. Yeah. Like versus, you know, getting a sick dig and then you got to still transition it away.
Which half your digs are shots. So you're
Yeah.
like, too easy, buddy. You have plenty of time to drop a
Just walk
drop
right
dialogue.
in there. Thank you.
Well, even when you were blocking, though, it seemed like shot blocking was a little more comfortable for you. Or just like the way that your brain processes it.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to swat shots
Yep.
more so. You definitely got your fair share of bounce blocks here and there, but it seems like your brain's almost just wired for shots.
Yeah, I think just coming into that reading defense mind is just kind of waiting and seeing. But, like, also, like, since I'm kind of undersized, like, penetrating and then guys can go, like, OT still hitting-wise, you know, it's a little tougher. So then, like, delaying and waiting for that shot, even if it's a pretty high shot, sometimes if you delay it long enough, like, you can at least get a finger on it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like you've made the perfect progression from blocker to defender because you guys split blocked for, I mean, what, 4, 5 years? How long
almost
did you guys play
five.
I
together?
think 5, but it was like COVID
4.5, yeah.
kind of split in there.
Yeah.
I'm curious too, like, how's the physicality stuff? Because now I'm going back to blocking. Like, I got what I asked for. Like, I remember it being harder, but it is. How's that physically feeling?
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I feel like as a blocker, you're jumping more, but you're also, like, not running around as much.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a little, like, give one, take one kind of thing.
It
like
could depend on how the game is going, like what kind of game you're playing, you know, if hitters versus shooters.
Yeah, like I've noticed, like, you could kind of take off some energy, like, as a blocker. Like I've noticed when I'm getting tired as a defender, like, I'll start to stand up, and then that really messes with our defense because I'm standing up and not being able to go places. But as a blocker, you know, you're always kind of in that position. You don't have to maybe get so low on a block,
Right.
so you can kind of take a little something off on a play.
Well, your blocker has the lowest load or the highest load. Actually, you and Theo have the highest, like, you don't get very.
Oh, yeah.
Your butts are like
Theo's
like a
even,
foot.
but he's even springier,
He's like,
so
bing,
he can fucking
dude. Yeah, it's
get up like
Yeah.
nothing on
It's
the,
crazy how
without
fast he can get over the net.
without like taking that load.
Yeah,
but
I'm like touching the sand. He's like
Yeah.
2 feet from
He
the
just
sand.
gets like a slight hinge and then
Yeah.
he's up.
and then like just diving for balls, you're like tweaking different muscles there as opposed to just more jumping as a blocker. So I think it's just kind of like they're both got their pros and cons for their taking energy out of you, but it took me a while to kind of get the body adjusted to doing defense full time for
Yeah.
sure. So anytime you're doing something new, you're gonna be adjusting. So
Yeah.